My brothers and sisters, hello. Welcome back to Soul Talk. I hope you are enjoying this beautiful day. Ooh, how I love the sunshine. You know, it reminds me of what I really wanted to talk about today, which is just connecting with your inner child and how to do that and why it's important to do that. I was at the beach yesterday with my friend the last couple days actually, and we were just running around and watching all the other little children play and seeing how they were acting, and it was so similar to how we were, and definitely how I felt and how I feel most days, especially when the sun is out. You know, there's something about it that just it brings out my inner child, and it's so important to remember that we do have that inner child that needs to be nurtured, and it's our job to raise that child. Because if you think about it, and I may have said this before and I'll say it again, how exactly were our parents supposed to know how to raise us if they themselves were never really raised by theirs? And anything that our parents did implement in us, besides maybe our manners, I feel like that's one of the biggest things that I took away, was just how to be a polite person. But in doing that, see, there's a catch-22 with that. With being a polite person, I sort of was too polite. I was like loyal to a fault, and so I kind of forgot at what point do I put up my boundaries. And I suppose that's a part of growing up and learning how to be an adult. Although I've seen children be able to do that a lot easier than I can. Just say what they will and won't be okay with. And you'll find that a lot of times they're pretty spot on with that. So don't forget about that little you on the inside, that little you that wants to come out and play, especially when those beams of light are just shining down on us. It just really lights up our core, the core of our being, and it fills you with this infinite glee, this glowing light. And so it's really important to do that, because that's where you at your most pure, really. That's when you are the most you, I guess. So yeah, I think that it's really important to remember to have fun, to play, to wrestle around and climb on the rocks and just be silly, have fun. Sing at the top of your lungs. Put your head out the window, maybe while someone else is driving, but put your head out the window like a dog and just let your tongue out, and just feel the wind on your face. Connect with nature. Connecting with nature is probably the greatest way to connect with that little person on the inside of you, the one that really is just looking to be nurtured. They're looking to grow, but in a much different way than we think about growing. Grow in the way that we're trying new things and learning new things. Like little kids are so in their bodies. They sit in these ways, like with their legs behind them like this. I know my siblings do that all the time, and we think that looks uncomfortable because we were taught to sit like this. That's a part of the manners, right? And in those mannerisms, taught by man, you must do this. We forget how to really be inside our bodies, how to really be one with it, how to really move in our bodies. And when we lose that, we die. Really, we start to die. And you probably know exactly what I mean when I say that. When it's been a couple days and you've been stuck in the office, or stuck inside the building that you work at, or stuck inside your house, you'll feel depressed. You'll feel lethargic. You'll feel like maybe you're either overeating or not eating enough, and you're not watering yourself. You're not allowing yourself to grow, because you need room to expand. And where is the most infinite space that we have? It's outdoors, and it's calling for us. It really is. You'll feel it when the sun is shining, or the moon is full and it's just staring right back at you. It's calling your spirit, or your spirit is calling for it. It's yearning to get out there and really live and connect with one another, especially. Yeah, it's great to go out and do things alone, but take a friend with you, and I'm sure that you'll have a flash of what it was like to be a 5-year-old again, playing with maybe your first real friend, or your first boyfriend or girlfriend, and remembering what those sparks feel like, how they just light up your soul. And it's when the very essence of your being is at its most authentic self. So it is so important. It's ever so important. It's probably the most important thing that you can do for yourself, is to go outside in nature and take your shoes off. I mean, God, if you haven't figured out by this point that there are so many benefits to having your shoes off, how can you really feel anything that you're going through if you have these feet prisons, is what I call them, these barricades, besides the fact that there are, if you've looked into reflexology at all, like I have, because massage therapy is another one of my passions. It's a huge part of healing, is being able to physically touch one another and connect with one another, to give and to receive that flow of energy, that energetic healing ability that we all really have. We have certain points on our feet that are connected to each organ. So I would definitely look that up, because I think that you'll find if there's any kind of pain that you're going through, if you just take your shoes off and go out into the sand and maybe press a little harder on certain points in your feet when you're walking, you might not feel pain in that area anymore. I know that I haven't been sick for some time, and I really believe that's because I get my my daily dose of vitamin C, and yeah, I'm drinking a lot of water too, but I find that during the day when I'm just out and about, I'm less hungry too. And it's not about losing weight for me. It's about being healthy. It's about really being one in my body, because I know, my little siblings, my little sister, she's always going. She has such a fast metabolism that she really doesn't eat a lot during the day, and she knows when she's hungry. She knows when she's thirsty. She knows, and I don't have to remind her, because she's inside her body. She does what she wants to do. She wants to learn how to flip off the couch and and land properly without killing herself. She'll do it as many times as she needs to figure out how to do it. And I have really learned that from them. I've learned that from being around these small children that I'm lucky enough to be able to teach. See, that's the other thing, is when you can connect with your inner child, and when you can teach yourself how to be childlike, you'll start attracting children more, because they know the people that are awake and the people that are asleep. Maybe not on our conscious level of knowing, but they know because they're drawn to it. Little children, they're always smiling at me and staring at me, even when I don't have my hula hoops or my ukulele that I just got, even when I'm not doing anything and I'm just sitting there, and it's because I see them. I see them. And I see them because I know who that inner child within me is. I think when I was a child, I just had the same kind of concepts that most adults do. I worried about things that I thought I shouldn't have been worried about, and now I'm kind of glad that I thought about it, because now that I got a lot of those things out of the way and I spent so much of my time trying to figure all that out, I realized that the best way for me to know how to live to the best ability to be my happiest is to be connected with my little self. And I love my little self so much. And when I do that, I heal past hurt. And I realize that I don't have to have that story with me anymore. I don't have to keep telling myself the things of the past. And when I do that, my heart can be open. My heart can be open to receiving, because it's already sort of at a full level, because I love myself. And sure, I mean, this is something that I have to work at every day, but it's getting less and less hard, because the more that I love the little me, the more that I can accept the big me. And when I accept the big me, everything else around me is just, it's a whole lot more enjoyable. So definitely try to do whatever you can do to make yourself laugh, because that helps too. You know, like, well, watching comedy, I love Louis C.K. He's hilarious. He's one of my favorite, and he really, especially, you know, the way that he's a father, and he makes a lot of jokes about how he deals with his children and the things that they find to be interesting. But it's funny because the things we find to be interesting really don't much matter, right? A lot of things don't. But anyways, it just puts life in a different perspective for you. If you see through the eyes of a child, everything just looks a whole lot better, a whole lot brighter. And that's not to say that you know, you forget all logic or something, but to have that childlike wonder, I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, when your heart is open, it allows other people to be open. It allows other people to be exactly who they are. And that's the best thing that you could do for someone. You know, besides healing them, that's one of the greatest ways you can heal someone, is by allowing them to just be themselves. And sure, you can think it's not up to you, but because the conditioning, because that has been placed upon us, because of the society that we've grown up in, because of the way our parents have projected, you know, their past, the things from their parents, they've projected it onto us. It's you know, it's really up to all of us to give each other enough space to just be. I keep saying this over and over again because it was something that took me so long to learn. And once I did, and I did, if you're wondering how exactly this happened for me, besides my spiritual practices, I mean, a huge part of my spiritual practice were the books that I read, and I implemented those things into my life, and that's what changed everything for me. And the two greatest books that did that for me was The Four Agreements, which I tell everybody it took me 3 years to read. And now I really started stepping into myself. I awakened at a very young age, but I really started gaining that enlightenment and that stepping into myself when I was 23. And it took me 3 years to finish the Four Agreements because I really wanted to be able to take my time, and so I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to implement those things into my life, and I had to come back to it. And by the time I came back to it at 26 years old, I read it like that, you know, like most people do, because it's not a long book. But the one that I did, by that point, I was ready for the next step, which was to fully love myself. And the book that helped me with that the most was, you know, part 2, which was The Mastery of Love, because that's the most important thing, is to learn how to be a master of your own love. And with that, you learn that if you give yourself that infinite amount of love that you're looking for, you're able to pass that on to everyone else freely, and realize that you don't necessarily need anything in return. You know, you can just be that way. There's something really beautiful about being able to give and receive. Some people are only givers, some people are only receivers, and to reach the Most High, I think it's important to learn a balance of doing both. And those 2 books really helped me with doing that. That and being outside, connecting with nature more. So don't forget about your inner child. If you ever need a reminder, I'm always here. You know, when I grew up as an only child. I'm not anymore, but I was for 18 years, and you know, my little self, all she ever really wanted was a friend, and I was so shy. And now I've stepped out of the box a little more, because being shy, it's a lonely place to be. You know, so step out of your box. I promise you won't regret it. You may get knocked down a few times, but you'll always get back up again, right? So today was really just a fun lesson. I didn't go super deep with anything because I'm just feeling really light. But I thank you for stopping by. I see you. I appreciate you. I hope you have a beautiful day.